Welcome back. It's time to talk about a big one. The Zonai. That's right, the mysterious race of people who existed on the surface of Hyrule long ago. The same people who built massive structures and then seemingly disappeared. Today, I'll be talking about what we know about them, their history and traditions, and why they might be one of the most fearsome elements in the Zelda universe. I'm Cornelius Belmont, and today we're talking about the Zonai Soul technology. Hey guys, thanks for watching the show. If you like what I do, please give this video a like and subscribe. Make sure to click the bell notification so you don't miss an episode. Thanks to these people for letting me use their assets. Spoilers ahead for the following games. Now, let's begin. We know that they existed in the ancient past, as evidenced by their language and symbols, most notably the infamous Zonai Swirl. They have ruins all across the land, many of which are massive, and some of which have been repurposed by the Sheikah to place their shrines. There are messages in the game implying that they were a barbaric tribe and highly skilled at magic, and there are dark implications that they had a hand in sealing away Ganondorf, an act that would lead to the inevitable emergence of malice that would turn into the Great Calamity. Of course, we have yet to see an actual Zonai person in-game. We can draw clues from what we've seen of their culture. A couple of years ago, I speculated that there was a third branch of the Sheikah, a concept that Dr. Wily recently made a video about as well. In short, I focused how there were the usual Sheikah in Kakariko Village, and how they were the ones who pursued knowledge for the royal family. And then there were the Yiga, who came along after the royal family forbade such technology. The group splintered and dedicated themselves to revenge while serving the Calamity. But then there was the third one, the Zonai. Of course, it is worth bringing up that the Yiga didn't come along until long after the Zonai had disappeared. But the Yiga are not the focus of this video. What is clear is that each of these groups had a clear connection to an aspect of the Triforce, and each one uses colored energy, or force, related to the Triforce. As to where the Sheikah are using wisdom, and the Yiga clearly tap into power, perhaps granted by the Calamity and Ganon himself. The Zonai tap into courage and its related traits. Farore blessed the land with her power, giving rise to life forms that have the will to live, to thrive. And so it is my assertion that the Zonai learned how to harvest that force and use it for themselves. The concept of soul energy, this courage-based force being bound to objects, isn't new. The description of luminous stones talks about how their glow comes from the souls of the dead, and we can see how the powder and substance from these stones are used in decorations across Hyrule. And no places in Hyrule that use these stones as decorations is more notable than the various Zonai ruins. The use of souls goes well beyond the means of decoration when it comes to their culture, though. And the single largest point has been teased to us for the better part of 4 years now, when we first saw that trailer for Tears of the Kingdom and the sealing of Ganondorf. In this scene, we can see that the Zonai artifact has been used to suppress his soul, their famous spiral providing a spectacle and perhaps warning to whoever might approach it. In these ancient times, it is clear that the Zonai, or at least their artifacts and ruins, were used to seal away this man in a painful ceremony, leaving his body to dry out while his soul remained trapped, unable to reincarnate, and thus putting an end to the recurring kings of the Gerudo people. Perhaps there is some truth to the 8th heroine statue being related to Ganondorf, and the idea that it was abandoned because of those events. But I digress. The sealing of Ganondorf is just one example of the Zonai using magic that manipulates and uses souls. Now we have some pretty clear evidence that goes a bit deeper. With the release of the second trailer almost 2 years ago, we saw the Zonai arm being equipped on Link and how it uses the same green energy. Is this device powered by souls? It's hard to say at this point, but it could easily be that the object taps into its wielder's soul, in other words, their force, in order to create its effects. Though they might just carry around some batteries on their waist, who knows? The other thing that we saw recently are the constructs, and how they seem to be segmented pieces kept together by glowing energy. You might have heard theories about how redeads were the result of Sheikah, taking people and changing them into mummified corpses in order to guard the royal family locations. If the Sheikah used bodies in order to make monsters, perhaps the Zonai are using souls themselves in order to keep their monsters alive and well, the creatures that we have come to collectively call the constructs. We don't know too much about the constructs just yet. They are going to be a recurring enemy in the upcoming game, custodians of the Sky Islands, alert and wanting to keep their place clear of intruders. If the Zonai people are sky dwellers, as I speculated years ago, then perhaps they have a settlement up there with these acting as guardians. It makes you wonder if their ruins around Hyrule were once home to many constructs, but were eventually cleared out after the apparent disappearance of the Zonai. Perhaps the deeper part of these ruins have more constructs hiding inside of them, waiting to be released, that nobody has seen in over 10,000 years. All the same, what is clear is that they use glowing green energy, the force associated with life, to keep them powered. In the recent footage, it is revealed that they drop a Zonai charge when defeated, which begs the question if a Zonai charge is what they call a soul. Perhaps it is the byproduct of processing souls that they use in their technology. That is an interesting concept on its own. But I think these constructs are something else. You see, the people and cultures of the Zonai have real-world analogies of specific cultures that we've seen, and are fundamentally rooted in the belief that the souls of warriors specifically have great power. Those cultures also believed that those souls could be extracted through a beating heart and used in various ceremonies. I am not going to say that the constructs were created as a result of human sacrifice, but it is not off the table either. I am going to say that whatever method were used to extract souls, be it simply from refining luminous stones, or tapping into the force of living creatures, it is clear that the constructs are powered by it. Perhaps when one of their warriors was getting old, the honorable thing in the culture would be to offer up one's own spirit in the creation and powering of some of the constructs, so their fighting spirit could then continue to protect the tribe long after death. It sounds a bit noble, doesn't it? Courageous even. A warrior tribe who found a way to continue battle even after their bodies were no more. I've drawn strong parallels to the Zonai and the Triforce of Courage before. The Triforce, at present, is in an unknown location. While it is certainly possible, and even likely, that Princess Zelda is in possession of it, there still remains the possibility it is in pieces. Perhaps wisdom is in possession of the Sheikah monks, and that is ultimately the source of the blue energy, that force that they use to power their technology. It wouldn't be the first time that we've seen a piece of the Triforce use the power technology after all. Perhaps Ganondorf ended up in possession of the Triforce of Power, similar to the other games that we've seen in the series. It would explain the red energy that we are seeing from Ganondorf, be it from corrupted technology or even the ominous glow of the Blood Moon. Let's take that a step further. Perhaps the Zonai were attempting to, or even successfully extracted the piece from him during his imprisonment. In any case, it is entirely possible that the Zonai are in possession of the Triforce of Courage, and ascended to the heavens in order to protect it. Who knows, maybe they possess both courage and power. Perhaps that is why Ganondorf is making Hyrule Castle rise up, in an attempt to go to the land of the Zonai, in order to claim their treasure. We have 26 days until we find out, and I for one cannot wait to see what happens. Thank you for watching. Now that you know my thoughts on the Zonai, I want to hear yours. Do you think that the Zonai share traits with the Mayan and Aztec people, as I alluded to in the video? How about using souls to power their constructs? Maybe you have your own thoughts? Let me know in the comments below. This channel is supported by Patreon. Patreon is the backbone of many YouTube creators, and the single best way that you can help support them. Well, besides leaving a like and subscribe, that is. If you are in the position to help out, pledging to it would really help me out. You will also gain access to my Discord server, where you can talk to me about upcoming ideas and episodes. I also want to give a special big thank you to my newest patron. Joining the crew is none other than Rory. Thank you for helping me out, it means a lot, buddy. Well, it's time for me to head off and do a new Judgment Time video. It's been a while. I'm revamping the look of that segment as well if you haven't noticed the new theme around here. Given the revelation of the new trailer this week, it's time to drag somebody back on the show. I'll see you guys there, and may the way of the hero lead to the Triforce.